Is this Brad Underwood's most talented team at Illinois? Go ahead.
Ooh.
The 21 team was really, really talented with Kofi and with Io and good Andre Curbelo off the bench. Honestly, I've been pretty blown away with them in the preseason here, just because the depth that they have and the IQ that they have. It's a really talented team, just from like a basketball IQ standpoint, from the standpoint of seeing them play even just against Illinois State and really missing 3 of their arguably like top 6 guys, just how seamless things were. And all that stems from IQ. And so that I think it's the smartest team that Brad Underwood's had for sure. And that's just, and one of the toughest too. And that's just going to help them, I think, not ride the roller coaster that they rode last year, where it's like they're either winning by 20 or losing by 20. You cannot have that. But I think the talent level itself, my big thing with Illinois this year is, your A game, which they had against Oregon last year when they won by 32 on the road. I mean, you truly have like 6 A games a year, like clicking on all cylinders, run a team out of the gym. You have maybe 5 or 6 of those a year for good teams. But what are your B and C games like? And I think Illinois' B and C games this year are going to be much better, which will help their floor, help them win more games in conference. And I think contend for a Big Ten title.
McCall?
I think more than any coach maybe in the country, and Mike, you can speak to this, Underwood has evolved. Like when he first became like a head coach, the toughness, the rebounding, we're running this spread motion offense where we're setting hammer screens at the elbow. We're just going to pound the ball inside. Like, this is what we're doing. I'm setting my ways. This is how we're playing the game. The guy is completely evolved in terms of that and is spreading the floor out and shooting a ton of threes. Not that they don't still have that toughness piece of it, like the mentality and the values of what he wants his teams to be. But he has evolved as a coach with the times.
Yeah.
1,000%. And I respect that so much, because you see some of these guys that have had so much success at other schools, and it's like, no, this is the only way we're doing things. No, this offense worked at this school, and we won 100 games at this place. This is, it's going to work here. He's not like that. He's not like that.
This
at all.
day and
He's
age,
completely
you can't.
changed his recruiting philosophy.
Well, what he's been so good at, McCall, like to your point, look at the era that we're in. You can't, like, if you're stubborn and you say, here's my system, here's 7 new guys, 8 new guys, whatever it may be, you don't have time. You don't have time to bring guys. Like, what he has done such a good job of is, what is my personnel mold system, simplify system to get results, and then build. So, like, I mean, he was deny everything, give up back cuts. They fouled like crazy when he first got there to Illinois. And it just wasn't sustainable in the Big Ten. Kofi comes in, you play more drop coverage, you go 4 out, 1 in. Okay, now it's Coleman Hawkins. We're playing 5 out. We got Marcus Demas. We're going into back downs, and we want to play faster. We have Terrence Shannon. Kasparas Yakashonis comes in. Let's do a lot of middle pick and roll, high pick and roll. And now this year, I think they're going to go back to what 23-24 was, with more back downs and more like possession control and stuff that we saw in that Elite 8 run. So, yeah, again, could go all day on this.
Go back and watch the offense that he was. Go back and watch the offense he was running at Stephen F. Austin. Everything was run within the 3-point line. Everything was run within the 3-point line. Like, there was no spacing. It was like that. It was called spread. It was like the hammer screen on the elbow. And to be honest with you, they were running at South Carolina when he was running the offense for Frank Martin, and it was like the easiest thing to guard, like, or scout against. It's like, we don't have this. Everything's with it. We're paranoid about giving up threes. We're not giving up anything. We're not giving up anything.
I'm assuming it's probably because he let go of the reins on running the offense, Matt. From what I hear, for the most part, everything runs through the son. offensively.
Who's
so,
done a really good job,
but
by the way.
yeah,
They've had a
yeah,
top 50 offense the last 3 years.
Like you guys said, you spoke to it. They kind of, come into, the 2020s with their offensive schemes and things like that, and they're playing a lot more open things with stretching the floor, shooting the ball, and things like that. But just, to go back and answer the question, no, this isn't his most talented team. I don't particularly think it's close, and I guess I'll kind of pivot. And I guess I'll even pose this as a question to you guys, because I don't know, something about me just doesn't sit right, man. He went and changed his philosophy recruiting wise as well too. But I feel like he may have went a little bit too far. Just going to get the European guys. I get that he's got what he wants. He has high IQ, low maintenance guys, can stretch the floor, they're skilled and all that stuff, fundamentally sound. But I almost feel like they're almost forgetting about the defensive side of the ball. Outside of Boswell, and it also is going to, I think, do them a big disservice, the fact that Ty Rodgers won't be available right away. Those are the two best defenders on that team. And they're probably the two worst shooters. So where do you find that balance of having guys on the floor that can not only run your offense, make reads, make shots, and make the right play, but also, again, leading back into this, having a level of toughness, a level of physicality, be able to rebound the ball, to be able to keep and guard and keep some of these electric guards in front of you. It still is the Big Ten. Like, you guys know it's going to be a bloodbath some nights, man. Those games get ugly, and it ain't always going to be let's get up 53s and we're going to make 16 of them and win the game. You're going to have to win ugly sometimes. And, I'm not saying that they won't be good, that they're not good. I know he's got good guys and great pieces, but, man, that's just one of the teams where I feel like everybody's real high on them right now, where I can see it kind of being the issue as they get in the conference play. I think they will do really well in the non-conference because teams won't be as prepared or familiar with them or the personnel. But you know how it is. The more games you stack up on synergy, the more guys are figuring you out, and they'll have those guys down cold by the time they get to conference play.
I'll just real quick. Just to, as a rebuttal here, because I think we've seen it in the Big Ten, and honestly, like, I think an underrated component of what this Illinois team has is, like, I think the natural thought is, like, okay, international, not as nasty. People are going to get to know David Mirkovic, and he's nasty. Like, he is nasty. And he plays that way. He plays with an edge. He's tough as hell. And I think between him and Keaton Wagler, this is what ends up happening with – I go back to Indiana in 22-23 when they were a 9-11 the previous year and then finished second in the Big Ten because of Jalen Hood-Schifino. Like, he changed the ceiling of that team, and it was a freshman that we just weren't really accounting for raising that ceiling. It's just same thing as Jace Richardson last year. We thought about Michigan State a certain way, and then Jace Richardson kind of pushed them through that ceiling. I think Tommy Avicic is one of the most underrated bigs in the country. When he was on the floor last year, Illinois shot like 75% from two because of his ability to stretch the floor, beat 5 out. Stojakovic, I think, is a better defender than people give him credit for. I mean, dude had 7 blocks against Notre Dame last year. Like, I'm really high on them, and that's not just because I have a jersey behind me. I think, and it all stems from Mirkovic and Wagler. Like, those are two guys that I think really make the personnel make sense. A lot of talk about Petrovic, and I think he'll get time, of course, but Wagler emerging as what I think is probably going to be their starting point guard changes the calculus, because he is a really, really good player that's been a winner his whole career, that didn't play on a shoe circuit in AU, so no one knows who the hell he is. But they got some dudes, man.
Sorry, and just to be clear, I didn't want that to come off as me saying like the Euro guys are soft. Because trust me, they got a lot of Serbians. I spent a lot of time overseas. Like,
yeah, totally.
So those are some of the toughest dudes on the planet.